Alright, so the Black Ops 6 beta, weekend 2, has finished yesterday at the time of recording this video. I did put a video out after weekend 1, giving my sort of general thoughts and opinions on things, but that's slightly changed now, so I thought it would be a better idea to like update that video with a new one, with the updated opinions and thoughts and stuff. I'm going to put chapters in this video, so if you only want to hear my thoughts on specific things, you can just skip to that bit. So let's get into it. When it comes to maps, I've been liking some more than others, but I've still generally enjoyed the flow of them all. Take all the sweaty people out of the game and just look at it objectively as the maps themselves. Yeah, do they stand alright on their own? Yes, I think they do. There's good variation, there's good flow to all the maps. I still don't really hate any of the maps, but I think generally they're all sort of alright. Until they removed Scud and replaced it with Babylon. And I loaded up COD and I thought, oh, let's see what's new today. And it were Babylon. I played it and I couldn't stand it. I thought this is outrageous. Especially with the spawns being completely all over the place. And you dying and then spawning into a room with the whole enemy team. And then dying and then spawning into a room with the whole enemy team. And so on and so forth. That weren't exactly a highlight of weekend 2. So yeah, as I was saying, Babylon, hated it. Until I kept playing it, and then I understood the flow of the map a little bit better. Again, you can't really avoid the fact that the spawns were the most awful I think I've ever seen. But to put that aside for 1 second, I actually ended up enjoying Babylon. And I had one of my best matches ever in terms of KD on Babylon. Do you know what as well? It were also nice to have something that weren't like building-y, like modern building-y. Because Scud's obviously like a bombed out base. And then Skyline's like a villa. Derelict's like a train yard. And what else did we have? Rewind's a town. And Babylon's like an old, ancient structure kind of place. Like I know there's scaffolding and stuff there, but like I've very enjoyed it, like the scenery of the map, and it just felt, I don't know, it just felt nice. It was like a different experience to what we'd been continuously playing over and over again in weekend 1. So I did enjoy that after a while. So last weekend we had Gala and Pit introduced in Face Off. I liked Pit, and although it's chaosy and super sweaty at times, like I actually really enjoyed it, and the simplicity of it, it just felt fun. It felt like that's the perfect map for the use of all the new systems, like the time to kill and the movement systems in that map feel really good. One of my biggest complaints is that all the other maps feel as sweaty as Face Off, but you would expect that Face Off is one of the more sweatier modes because of the close quarters combat and stuff, but it's not. It's like all the bigger maps are more sweaty, it feels like, because they have more space and opportunity to utilize movement in different ways. Whereas in Pit, you got a tunnel and another tunnel and a room. So at some point somebody's bound to pull a shotgun out and like just absolutely dome you. So there ain't enough opportunity for you to be doing like crazy things like you die, you kill, you die, you kill, you die, you kill, and that's it. And you can just switch your brain off and just go for it. And I actually really enjoyed that. Gala, on the other hand, as a face-off map, not a massive fan of that. Didn't think that was the correct use for that map. It feels more like a gunfight map. And when they ended up adding gunfight towards the end of the weekend, like it felt way better as a gunfight map than it did as a face-off map. That's just my personal opinion. I really like gunfight. My one gripe with the Gala map in gunfight is that it kept giving me snipers. Like I had snipers twice within like 3 rounds of gunfight, and I don't know if that's an intended thing, like because the map's bigger, they've intended to put snipers in the rotation more often. However, I'm like the worst sniper in COD ever. Stakeout, the gunfight map, was actually really good. It's probably one of the more simpler maps in the whole game so far. Like it's got 2 hallways, 2 like sets of rooms, 2 balconies, and a connected section in the middle. But it feels good, it's like cool. I don't know, something about it just felt really nice. I know that sounds super vague and I don't really know how to sort of explain it. Like it just felt cool, it were a bit different. Like it felt like a very, very well done gunfight map. so I enjoyed it. Going back to sort of the more generalized opinions in terms of like time to kill, right? Time to kill in terms of length is pretty bang on. Like, it don't want to be any longer, it don't want to be any shorter, it's pretty bang on. But it does still feel inconsistent, and I don't know what the fix is for that. I don't know how you'd go about fixing that. All I do know is that lots of people are reporting that they're having the same sort of problem. And I've seen people have latency issues and packet burst. Oh my god. I'm sick of seeing this. It's just everywhere, on every single clip that I've seen, on every single person's mind is the ever impending threat of packet burst. And I don't know how that's going to get any better when they add more content to the game when it gets released, and there's more textures to stream and there's more content in the game. I don't know how they're going to make it so that that's not a problem. I do quickly want to talk about the guns and say that each gun does feel different. It feels like you're using a different type of weapon, which I know sounds like should be the case all the time anyway, but some games don't quite get it right, and it feels like shooting is just shooting, and it don't particularly matter what type of gun it is or anything like that. I know we've come to expect stuff like this from COD, however, it still deserves the praise that each gun feels distinctly like a different gun. And another thing that's good is that when you run with like a heavy weapon like an LMG or something like that, it don't feel like all of a sudden you're like cosplaying as a juggernaut and you can't move. Yeah, there's a visible slowness compared to the other guns, but it just feels a lot better than in previous CODs where you've been moving at like 0.1 mile an hour, which is good. I just thought I'd like to add that in. While we're on the topic of weapons though, I don't want it to be a game of what's the best weapon. So what I mean by that is, obviously we've been playing Jackal Ops 6 recently, and they said they were going to nerf it. Maybe they did, but it didn't really feel like they did, and I don't really know what to make of that. I want to be able to come on my game and play using whatever weapon I like. I don't want to be tied into a box of use this or you're dead. Everybody's using this, because if you don't use this, you're dead. I don't like that. I just want to be able to play the fucking game. I'm not really sure that the balance is correct at the moment as well. Like, surely in a game that's about guns, you would presume that you have just as much chance to kill somebody with a different weapon than you would if everyone was using the same weapon. Attachments obviously like stop the spread of the gap, because you can make a weapon better using attachments than it would be stock. However, there are still objectively better weapons, and that don't sit right. That don't feel right. I don't want to be playing Jackal Ops 6 at full release. Now, it might not be Jackal Ops 6 at full release. It might actually be Shotty Ops 6, because there's a shotgun that's just objectively better than all the other guns. And I just don't like that, man. They need to hone in on the balancing and get that fixed. So far, in terms of what they need to fix, it's the server issues, packet burst, and latency problems, etc. Then we have the inconsistency in time to kill and weapon balancing. So far, that's not too bad. They're things that they can fix. They're things that the beta is good for finding out. So I'm not too mad at that. We can take that on chin and just hope that them things get fixed. Oh, spawns as well. But all in all, pretty minor problems. I did feel the type of way about the maps on the first weekend, and I weren't really sure that I enjoyed them. But over time, I've actually come to enjoy them, and I sort of get what they're trying to do now. I don't know how I feel about the size of the maps. Like, I've seen people complaining that there's no large maps anymore, but I don't know if the game needs large maps. I would consider Scud like a pretty large map. In comparison to Babylon, it is a large map. Now, they're using the word medium, and I'm not really sure why it's not a large map. I don't know if I've missed something there, but I just feel like the movement has caused a lot of differences in the way that you play the game now. So therefore, as a result of that, they've changed the map sizes, they've changed the time to kill to suit the Omni movement, which makes sense. I'd rather Omni movement be optimized on the game than the game feel total bullshit because of this new system. So I'm not mad at that. Like I say, I'm not really too bothered about the size of the maps. It's more the flow of the maps and how they are set out and structured and stuff, and I feel like they've kind of hit the mark on sort of all of them, really. There's some that I don't like as much as others, obviously, but not for any like stupid apart from Derelict. There's like a little rock spot on the left hand side from the building where you can hide behind, and it's just an impossible gunfight. If they're sat on that rock, you can't get through that corner without being killed. It's as simple as that. I've not really noticed that sort of spot on any other map. Like, Scud kind of has that with the satellite dish and the little dugout, but you can still kill people that are there. Whereas in Derelict, it's like, right, I'm going to have to flank around the whole different side of the map, because otherwise I'm just going to die and die and die. I don't know if that's a design flaw, or I don't know if that's just people being like super smart and exploiting the map or what. I don't know. But that's it really. None of the other maps have got any sort of design problems that I've encountered that I feel like are big enough of a thing for me to notice. So yeah, that's about it really. I just didn't want to leave the first video out and people to perceive that that's my final thoughts, including Weekend 2, because it's not. I've changed my perspective a little bit on the game in general, and there still is things that need fixing and stuff that I'm not massively fond of, and I guess there's still a little bit of an underlying feeling that I'm not the target audience, or that it's being designed for other reasons other than fun. I understand that games are a business, and I understand that there's an element of it, including the marketing and such, that is trying to push sales. However, I'd love to go back to the days where studios had creative freedom, and I feel like there's a couple of things that have happened in the lead up to this that show that the Treyarch devs are fighting for the ability to do what's right for the players, and I have nothing but respect for that. You know, I may have been slightly too fast to the gun, so to speak, with my initial reception to the game. So I think we'll see how it goes, and ultimately this multiplayer beta isn't going to influence my decision on whether to get it or not, because I still definitely want to play the campaign and I still definitely want to play zombies. If you let multiplayer dictate whether or not you're going to buy it when you care about campaign and zombies as well, then that's a little bit silly, because they're so far apart that it can't be judged in the same way. I would have got it anyway, even if I thoroughly disliked the multiplayer. But obviously, multiplayer is a massive part of the game, because once you've finished with campaign, I don't think really you're going to go back and play it again unless you have to for a Dark Ops challenge or for an achievement or something like that. But really, once you've finished that and you've got the Dark Ops for the campaign and you've done all the achievements for the campaign, or at least as many as you can do, then you're not going to play it again, really, I would imagine. Zombies obviously has a lot of replayability, but if you've done the Easter egg for the first 2 maps at launch and there's a couple months between that and the next map releasing, I would rather play multiplayer than not be interested in the game until there's extra content. So it definitely helps that I had the ability to play it and sort of come to terms with the fact that it's very different from the last COD that I played. But yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments. Like this video if you like this video, subscribe to keep up to date with everything that I'm doing. Links are in the description to all my socials, and I'll catch you in the next one. Safe.